Yeah,
Yes.
getting back to it because I shared my thoughts when we had a meeting with the teachers along with the leadership team. But just to reiterate as to what we are exactly doing and where we stand and what is the way forward, I personally had a couple of observations. Firstly, I feel that once we reflect, we have done a great job despite the fact that in the last 16 months, we have gone through very challenging times and a lot of new initiatives have been taken. And the QRMs and the quality of presentations and the work which has been done in different areas, whether it is in digital thinking or the SEL or the now the health curriculum or the ATL and everything is now being either monitored or recorded and feedback is being given and a clear picture with regard to what is happening in each and every area is being brought about. But I was only wondering that because the QRMs, although they become about 200 or 300 pages and we keep on discussing for 3 hours and there are about 30, 40 people involved in every meeting, can we just, I mean, we can have backup papers when we have the QRMs, but highlight only those areas which are the key improvement areas or something which is innovative or new. Because the supporting papers can always be sent one day in advance and try to make it a very concise and comprehensive meeting plan, although documentation can still be there. But because so many new initiatives have been taken, and we are trying to capture whatever is happening in respect of each of these initiatives. So great work being done, but nonetheless, I'm trying to see how we can streamline our meeting so that it becomes much more impactful and more suggestion based from the people either who are attending or who are part of the selected key leadership team. So that was one thing. The second is, as we all know, that the way things are moving, digitization will be into everything. And in the last 1.5 years, already a lot of work has been done by our schools also in terms of digitization. Although we started with the ERP system with Sonnet, which is not the control of which is not with us, but nonetheless the other initiatives which we have done, we would, and for which the control will be with us, and that has been discussed, I think, with Harish ji and with you all on number of occasions. Now we'll have to go about in terms of further strengthening or ensuring that these type of things can be done, whether it is the report card or the question bank or the NAS or the different type of we have a Jaipuria audit portal, particularly in our franchise division, whether that can also be incorporated so that all the different facets of digitization that we have been talking about and which we had seen when we had met and gone to some schools in India, whether it was the Sai International or the Oak Ridge School or in the other schools which are IB schools. Now, digitization to a large extent has been done, but certain areas I think further it will be required because most of the administrative work or the fees collection work as well as the content work and assessment work, wherever digitization is possible in a phased manner, we'll have to go ahead with that, and we'll have to ensure that we are able to uh, get the customers and the consumers experience properly, the footprints properly mapped. I'll just give you a small example. Like there are two biggest toy companies, used to be two biggest toy companies in the world. One was Toys R Us, which everybody must have heard, and the other was Lego. And Toys R Us was much bigger. It started in 1948 and it went into bankruptcy in 2017. And Lego, which I do not know when they started, has grown leaps and bounds in the education space as far as the toy industry is concerned. The only difference between the two companies is that Lego was able to measure the footprints of both the customer and the consumer, and which Toys R Us was not able to do. So we have to understand that The customer is much different than the consumer. So we have to capture what the consumer or the student is doing, which I have been talking also in the last meeting that we had with you all, and also ensure whatever footprints are there as far as the parent is concerned, because ultimately he is the customer and he decides for his child as to where he has to go. And if we have some influential parents who can help us in promoting our messages through the social media channels, so that also becomes important. So that was something that, to some extent or in a limited manner, we have started engaging more with the parents. But can we do it in a more effective manner and have somebody either at the school level or at the corporate office level who can have a complete platform, which particularly the Oak Ridge School had. And Manjuji was also there when we had, I think we visited the Oak Ridge School, and how effectively they had a robust platform in which they were able to capture each and every footprint of the parents. That I do not know how we want to structure it, but we should ponder over this thing, because lot of things we keep on discussing, but let us strategize certain areas which will be critical for the next 6 months or 1 year, where we want to focus upon. And I think this engagement with the parents also and capturing their footprints becomes an important tool for us for the future. The next point was with regard to our visibility as far as the community is concerned. We have been doing work as far as community programs are concerned. Kanpur School has done certain things. Lucknow and Ghaziabad School have also done. But can that visibility, or that, whether we take one project at a time, but we continuously engage with the district officials or with the concerned people at the in the ecosystem, whether it is the community or the governmental agencies, and do one initiative that is talked about, in which people will know us as a differentiator. So I would like the principals to think about it and pick up one initiative, whether it is a tree plantation, but then it has to be something which is, you should be the number one school in that particular area, or it could be anything else for that matter. So one initiative that we do, either engaging with the district authorities or with the community, which speaks and which builds our brand image. Now coming back to the social media, I wanted to see how we can further leverage social media, because today it is all about the perception and the brand we are able to build through social media. So every area, because also we had a discussion with IIM Indore, and also with the Management Institute, as to how to fully leverage our social media platforms, whether it is our website, whether it is YouTube, whether it is uh, LinkedIn, whether it is Facebook, etc., etc. Now, to what extent our team understands, although some work has been done, but whether it is block writing, whether it is visuals, whether it is short videos, because a company like TikTok, which has been now banned, although it's a Chinese company, has viewership which is amazing. Now the new Indian companies who are coming up in this space are also creating small videos which are carrying the messages of different areas which is exciting to children. And the messaging has to be very small. It could be a 30-second video or 1 minute. Nobody wants to see those videos which are for 30 or 35 minutes or 20 minutes. The attention span of people is very less. So can we have some influencers also getting involved, who can be part of the social media? And I've asked Kushbu to talk to the advertising agencies also looking after the media, the Kaizen people, how we can help, they can help us in improving our branding through the social media awareness. So that will be something more innovative. And some of the parents who are very closely attached to the schools and who have a good word, they can be also used as influencers. But anybody having a large following will be able to do more justice to us, because whatever messages we are sending, and all the professional people in the team also, whether it is the principals including myself, should have a very strong presence in the media, Because if I have my channel in terms of presence in LinkedIn or YouTube and others, and that is being and some of them are retweeted by the influencers, then it creates a very positive impact. Not that I have the best of idea with regard to how to take the full advantage of this new media, social media thing. But nonetheless, I think we require some deeper engagement and ideas as to what can be done. And for that, I thought that the suggestion that was moved and which Lucknow school will be initiating was the TV studio that we wanted to introduce to begin with at Lucknow school and subsequently with Ghaziabad and other school for which we wanted some space. Now, if that can be an opportunity where we can bring in our students, talk about our achievements, talk about what they've been able to do, and make very small capsules which can be utilized for this type of effort. So overall, it was just how to use our creative imagination in terms of social media utilization and optimization, which will, I think, go a long way. Whether it is blogging, whether it is these small short videos, etc., which will help in taking us forward in these pandemic times, particularly. And all this has been accelerated because today people are doing everything online, and everybody has to have no other option but to do this. The point about academics has already been discussed, and Harish ji and Vinod ji and all of you do understand, and we also appreciate that that is of prime importance. So, definitely, as everybody has expressed, the vice principals have to take the ownership along with the complete team that is there, so that we don't compromise on the academics, because that is something where our schools have been known for, despite the fact that we are taking many more initiatives and new things that are happening. But a very focused approach to certain areas where we felt that in our commerce stream we have not been very good, or some other areas where we have been lacking, that again has to be focused upon. The other thing what I had noticed was that, like in Ghaziabad school, more and more students started going into IITs because we started this program with FITG. Although, I don't think we are getting a proper monitoring with regard to what is happening with FITG, and I'm also not aware whether they had also increased the fees last year when the schools were not allowed to increase. But nonetheless, let us also have an understanding, because maybe in Lucknow school where we have adequate space, can we have a similar tie-up? Although in Kanpur we have a constraint with regard to space, but in case in Lucknow, if we have some, if we can have some tie-up either with Akash Institute or with Fiji, so we'll not only be able to retain our own students, but also we'll be able to get students who are who want to study in these type of programs. And because once we have a brand equity and along with Fiji, that will ultimately lead to more people getting into courses like IITs or in professional programs, which gives us a lot of visibility and in terms of credibility. So that possibility for Lucknow school can also be explored, and for Ghaziabad, if more closer monitoring can be done, because it has a ripple effect. Once Fiji classes are there, our teachers are getting trained, and then that also has a rub-on effect on the existing students and the existing teachers. So I think it gives a very great scope for improvement, because we continue to learn some better practices when they are conducting these type of programs with us. In terms of CTL, I was wondering that although Sushma had done a great work and it is also continuing, but if somebody can handhold it and continuously monitor and have a proper system that we continuously, otherwise it'll slip, because that was something which was whether there's a team lead that we want to have in terms of the CTL initiative, that area has to be further seen. And as far as STAR is concerned, although I think a lot of trainings have been there. Last two also I attended very briefly, conducted by Shikaji and Puramji and few others. But there's a lot of good word which is spreading about STAR, And I think now we have started getting some traction and people from outside also joining STAR. But the research component also we'll have to see as to how we can strengthen, whether it is through any collaboration that we want to do or any other measure that we want to adopt in terms of strengthening that research wing. So maybe there can be some internal discussion with the leadership team, and Sushma and Harish ji are there. तो उसको थोड़ा सा आप लोग सोचिए कि Star after all is also part of the research. So the R is for the research, but we are doing a lot of work. But that research, whether it is secondary research or primary research, but some more papers with regard to research in education should be a part of the whole process to give it more credibility. And for the pre-primary thing, because you see the parents are creating a parents are feeling that it is better to avoid sending their children to school. So we'll have to ensure that we have a better engagement with the parents to tell them the merits of the students coming into the pre-primary and primary wing, because otherwise some work has been done in this regard, and some deeper collaboration. I think some steps have already been taken where the headmistresses or the people in charge of the pre-primary wing are also trying to help uh, the little ones and working in a collaborative manner, so that whatever best practices are there in our core schools or the bigger schools, that can be either translated to the little ones and help them. Because what we have seen is in the summer work which has been given also to the students, or because of collective collaborative approach, I think it has been something which has been, I believe, is quite useful, and will go a long way in building trust of the parents and engaging the students during these times when they have very little options left to them. So about this career program, Hariji has already discussed with you all, so not much to talk about. I mean, once you have this program, because I'm told that education world is likely to tie up with 100 schools only in India to begin with, along with the IB. So we'll have to take a decision in a week or 10 days time with regard to this. And some of the schools like Heritage and Sunbeam and others have already tied up with them, and I'll also check with them as to what exactly has been the learning from them. And the last point was this collaboration as far as the alumni is concerned. We have been getting a lot of now. We are focusing on this area, and I'm glad to say that some of the alumni from the Kanpur school, we are trying to engage in both the GYM and JSB, and they have been doing. They are showing so much of keenness to collaborate with us, both at the school level and more so at the management education level, that we are finding that we have not been able to leverage this till now to a large extent. But definitely, if our Ghaziabad school, they must have already started working on the alumni engagement programs. And if some of them we can engage and gradually also tie them up along with the different type of mentor-mentee programs that we have or counseling sessions that we have, and try to engage them in a different initiatives, whether it is the parents or the alumni. So wherever we can leverage our strength, we should continue to leverage those opportunities, because I think as a group with 10,000 students and with another 3 to 4,000 in the franchise schools, so we are growing, and even the franchise schools will also require a lot of support, while our Anirban has been instrumental in driving it, and now we are seeing that things either are getting stabilized and we are moving forward in this direction. And some support will be required from the leadership team in terms of the various initiatives that we require from the for the franchise schools. For a lot of good work which we are already doing is being shared through the academic team of the franchise division with the schools, because we don't want that our name or brand should be diluted by the franchise schools. but they also have certain challenges. But from our side, we'll have to be very proactive in supporting the franchise schools wherever it is feasible. So these were some of the thoughts which I had, but I'll be open to any questions or any ideas that you all have, because we keep on interacting. But definitely, you are the best people who can take it forward. So I thought I'll just share some of the views or perspectives that I have with regard to the new things that we can continue to do. But the last thing is that we have to ensure that ultimately the people who will be spreading the good work and for which the school will be recognized will be their teachers. So if the teachers continue to be happy and motivated, then only we'll be able to uh, get a good brand equity, because if the teachers are not motivated and not fully uh, happy with the institution, despite the fact challenges will be there, professional development has to take place, their careers have to be built. But if they see continuously see that they are learning something and something new is happening, they will be also motivated to spend more time. So I close my observations here.